much. I want to welcome all the forum participants. I feel proud to welcome all of you. I am glad that Caspian Forum is somehow became a traditional activity, and somehow it supports our activities and should become one of these initiatives as well. Dear Mr. Zia, you talked about the development of the culture and the related processes, and our respected President and Mrs. Aliyeva also participated in these activities, and this is a logical result of their successful activities. As you know, we are applying all these activities in our current life, and we see it, the successes, and all the people appreciate our local people also appreciate these activities and the results of these activities. And when we're talking about the non-oil sector, we should touch the tourism subject, and we should talk a lot about this issue because in the world there is an accepted economical indicators, and tourism has its own place here in the world tourism market. In this turnover, if we analyze this turnover, we can see that this is the first level of turnover. All the services provided in the tourism sector somehow impacts the development of the tourism direct and indirectly. And if we take into consideration all these criteria, if we refer to the numbers of the World Tourism Organization, we can see that in the world, coming from oil production and non-illegal financial and other illegal turnover, more than these issues, the tourism movement is more popular. In the tourism industry, the turnover in the tourism industry today in different countries is one of the main indicators, economical indicators. Also, it leads to the development of the GDP. In some countries, GDP is only depends on tourism industry, and they develop the level of the services. Not only the level of the services, they are talking about this industry as the main decisive indicator for the country. Just briefly, I want to mention some numbers. In the latest years, World Tourism and Travel Association is available, and every year they are doing analysis for different countries. They also analyzed our country and released the numbers and printed that numbers, published that numbers. And we gave certain statistics, and another certain state bodies gave them the numbers, and they evaluated these numbers, and now they came to conclusion that the overall number is 4.9 million manats. And it means that this indicator shows that 2.4 is direct weight and 8.8% is the total weight of in the Azerbaijan economy. In spite of that, we're an oil country, and energy factor, that is decisive factor in Azerbaijan economy, but tourism sector somehow will lead to the development, and as a result of the investments, we can increase these numbers as well. I think that For our country, these numbers are enough big. Although in Azerbaijan, we currently cannot talk about the internal tourism statistics accurately, but based on the indirect calculations, we can tell the numbers, and it shows the real results. In Azerbaijan, the number of the tourists also are increasing, is increasing, and it's connected to the internal stable and as a result of our president's accurate policy. As you know, during the recent years, in the world tourism statistics, we are the leading country, and it's not an easy result. And during the last 5 years, we had certain years that we had increase for we had 40% increase. And if we take total numbers, 14-15% during these 5 years, Azerbaijan tourism development Azerbaijan tourism increased. And we should confide that last year, in comparison of, if we differentiate it with the 2013, it was a very difficult year. Why? And it was not related with the situation of Azerbaijan tourism, because all the people coming to Azerbaijan and the number of that people coming from our neighboring country, and you know the crisis happened in Russia and it impacted all the world tourism. And as you know, the people used to come to our country from neighboring countries, and the number decreased as a result of this crisis. As a result of this, from Europe, United Kingdom, France, Italy, Germany, USA, Emirates, and we increased the number of tourists coming from these countries. Before it was 10-20% about the number of people coming from these countries, but the people coming from Russia, Georgia decreased to 3%. And as a result, it can lead to absolute number, because the people coming from Russia, the number of these people cannot be compared with the number of people coming from USA, England, because we are neighboring countries. We have traditional business environment with these kind of countries. Even visa application also impacts this kind of issues. That's why this kind of problems occurred. I want to clarify some issues. Maybe today we should clarify it. It's obligatory. Sometimes we are told that why Ministry of Culture and Tourism of the Republic of Azerbaijan, why they show the statistics like 2 million, for instance, these numbers why are so high. I want to tell that there is one tourism statistic in the world. There is no other statistics. And several years before, I did some activities and I realized these statistical approaches, but I was criticized as well. For instance, when we calculated the number of the tourists, we were working on the contracts, we were calculating the number of the students, and we were multiplying and doing some calculations. But in the world, the United Kingdom had the accepted tourism statistics, and they have only one measurement tool. any person crossing the border crossings, they are included in the tourism statistics. For instance, for France, it's 16 million. In Turkey, it's 23 million. In another countries, the number of the people coming there are not only using the rucksack for only tourism. Uh, they can come for pleasure, they can come for business, for any other purposes, and they are being considered as a tourists. And according to the statistics, we also do our statistics. The tourism development in Azerbaijan is under the main focus of our Mr. President. As you know, our president always visit the regions, the realms, also he visits there and participates in the opening ceremonies of the hotels, of the parks, of the cultural centers. He participates there personally and he pays just certain attention to that infrastructure development. During the last 5 years in Azerbaijan, the placement increased 5%, 5 times.
Yerleşme yeri bu hakkında danışırıq.
And this is not sufficient because we need to increase it. We intend to increase that placement beds more. Also, the number of the hotels in reality 6 years before. In a normal condition, we had 120, 150 hotels. Now we have more, we have 530 hotels, and we have sufficient opportunities to meet our foreign guests in a normal condition and to provide services there. We have also some services for the tourists, and these are not cheap services, and they will continue this policy because we cannot compare ourselves with Turkey or in the southern parts areas. We cannot compete with this kind of countries. As you know, our summertime is not long, and this is related to the climate or another issues. And that's why we cannot improve our tourism in one direction. That's why our president has the certain policy, and he said that our main priority should be the development of the different clusters. The Gabala tourism also accepted cluster tourism place, and this is our main cluster. And second is winter, and recently during the summer times it will be the tourism places as Shahda cluster, and it means international standards, and it's a new entity running their business in a new format. It's under the state control, but maybe they will lead their activities as a private partners. And in these directions, we are continuing our activities. We identified 7 zones, and we consider that at that areas it's the tourism can be developed in that certain areas, and you can take this information from our website. The main goal of us to increase the tourism activities of the hotel business and independently to provide the services, to provide the certain conditions for that. And you know, today the visa issues, and we improved this visa application system, and we use electronic system, and according to the decree of the president, the time also reduced during the 5 days tourism companies can give these visas. Also, licenses can be accepted via the internet, and we we don't allow the foreign intervention here. The only mechanism we use is a monitoring mechanism, and implementing this monitoring is obligatory. It should be done by the government because our main goal is to increase the level of these services, and it should meet the international standards. And we will also will severe the conditions in future for the tourism and hotel businesses. Before maybe we didn't pay attention to this kind of issues, but as you know, we host different international events as we're accepting different foreign guests, and that's why we should do our best in order to meet international standard. That's why we're doing the monitorings regularly, and plus tourism industry staff development system is also being developed. I want especially to mention that during the 9 years Azerbaijan Tourism Institute designing their activities, and last year in December under the decree of our president, Azerbaijan Tourism and Management University now is being called, and this process is going on, and we are not only interested in only tourism sphere, we are also interested in the services, and we should provide the common network in order to increase this sphere. And that's why tourism companies has certain conditions to meet, and that's why we need professional staff in order to provide these services. And this is our one of our main goal. And these conditions, I think, should be taken into consideration, and all these conditions should meet the international standard and should be under strict control in order to meet this international standard. The number of the tourists coming to Azerbaijan also related to this issue. We have certain direction to involve them, to attract them to our country. In our country, we have Business Congress Bureau established recently, a tourism association also created in Azerbaijan. Also, Azerbaijan, there is a treatment tourism association, and we also provide their international participation in different conferences. For instance, before we used to go to 10, 15, 20 exhibitions. Now we have target marketing policy, and we decided to implement this policy. Now decided to increase these opportunities. We participate in different conferences and events, and all the tourists companies should be increased in order to participate in this kind of events, even the number of the hotels. And these directions are not only under the control of the Ministry of Culture and Tourism, and it's not related only, it's not based on our interest. You know that European Union twinning project is available, and we implemented a certain program in our sphere, and in this direction we identified the certain markets that's very attractive for us, and now we are trying to take this into consideration and to continue our activities in this certain right direction. As you know, there are some leading TV channels, and our president also have the certain financial resources. You know, CNN, Euronews, France TV5, and Russia TRT doing the advertising about our touristic about our country, and we place our touristic advertisement. And this is also especially related to the European Union. European Games, and we have a certain logo. And I see now that via the internet and using the mass media opportunities, using the virtual ways, we can promote Azerbaijan tourism, and we pay certain attention to these issues. You know, we have 2 and 3 websites, and it's active. And I cannot tell you that I am fully satisfied, but we are now applying the new program, and related e-program development also available, and we try to do it functional, and it's our main priority in this direction. We run our activities as well, and all the international conferences, festivals, events, competitions, and another events, you know, that is being held in Azerbaijan, and it attracts many people. And the people coming to Azerbaijan, when they visit Azerbaijan, they come for the second time as well. And you know, our cuisine, our hospitality is also attractive for many people, and we will also lead our policy in this sphere as well, in order to be successful in the tourism sphere. In this forum, I want to mention Caspian Sea tourism cooperation development. This is our main priority as well. With Iran, Kazakhstan, with Russia, we should cooperate, and we're cooperating with them. Also, Turkmenistan recently joined these processes as well, and this cluster also available, and we are preparing the stuff and in this sphere, and we have certain improvement in this sphere. And Guam countries tourism programs also available, and we joined these programs. European Union tourist programs also available, and we joined them. Azerbaijan 2 years before. World Tourism was chosen as a member of the World Tourism Association, and Azerbaijan experience is being accepted by the tourism experts. And of course, the development of our country somehow create an interest by another people. At the same time, I should tell that we cannot be satisfied with only with these successes. As you know, tourism development shouldn't be based on the certain body, state bodies, because this industry sphere is very sensitive industrial area. As you know, the person, it comes from the border crossing, that the person comes to the border crossing, and they should go through different services, and it begins from there, which services are being provided to them, which certain of cultural attitudes are shown to them, and all these aspects are very important to the development of the tourism. That's why, if we are talking about today about the tourism, and we cannot tell that this is only about the construction of the hotel, or it is only based on the infrastructure, transportation. World Tourism Association had said that in order to serve one person, more people should be involved in order to serve them in a certain and the right, accurate way. Even the farmers, also the workers in the plants, or the people who are advertising the country, all these kind of people are involved in order to promote the country. Also, the customs officers, the writers, all are just active participants of the tourism development. This is somehow the circle. And currently, we have some difficulties. I should tell about this. We should understand that today Azerbaijan, as a country, is as a country we're independent, and we see in our own activities that our culture, our reputation should not be under severe injustice by another countries. Our culture, our reputation shouldn't be spoiled by another country. And only ministry or tourism companies or separate people individually cannot overcome it. Population, the society should come together, including investors, businesses, everywhere. Azerbaijan's culture and should protect the value belonging to Azerbaijan. We see it everywhere. Both in exhibitions where Karabakh is represented as Armenia, and with huge difficulties we can overcome it. So bringing people to Azerbaijan, their visit to Azerbaijan should go through these challenges, through these difficulties, and that's why we have to be very sensitive. We should pay special focus on this. Azerbaijan tourism has to be professional, attractive, and open, and we have to promote it everywhere, each of us. Every tourist coming to Azerbaijan brings at least $700 to Azerbaijan economy without investing, without doing any serious work. Just by tourist companies using existing infrastructure, hotels through existing hospitality infrastructure, every person brings at least 700 US dollars to Azerbaijan financial sector. And so this is our interest. The more people we have, the more we will attract this money to Azerbaijan, both to the budget and to the turnover. Of course, we have problems, many problems, as I said, in many places, because we are Ministry of Culture. Tourism sometimes is looked at social problem. From one side, tourism is a social and cultural sector, humanitarian sector, but the foundation of it lays on economic relations, investments, turnover, profit, and its contribution to GDP of the country. That's why both economy and humanitarian, social side are coming together here, and I'm sure that people sitting here will return to their country and people will take the memory of part of this country with themselves, and that's why your investments, your steps, your activities are very important, because the number of guests coming to Azerbaijan depends on this, and how with pleasant memories they will leave Azerbaijan also depends on us. As a result of our efforts and as a result of the direction and support given by President, Azerbaijan tourism will reach its goals. As I said, our goals in next 5 years to increase the number of tourists coming to Azerbaijan to 4.5 million. We should have infrastructure for this. We should have projects, and the hospitality system has to be improved and should be brought to a completely new level. Both depends on us. We are ready to do it, and we are sure that on your side we will get feedback as well. Thank you very much for your attention.